Hello and welcome to the after show for Conversations with the Quick Flick Critic. I am still your host, John Smistad, and we are joined by the folks that we just spent several moments talking to, the power duo, as I like to say, behind Liveairshowtv, father and son combo, Jeff Lee and Brian Lee. Jeff and Brian, thanks for joining us on the Conversations with the Quick Flick Critic after show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. As you know, we ask a series of questions. There'll be 3 today on the Big After Show, and they're picked totally out of thin air and then presented to our guests, and they respond however they would like to do so. So question number 1. Jeff, you and I are proud members of Baylor Bear Nation. We talked about on the show. And Brian is, I feel like we're excluding him. He's an honorary member of the nation. And a bear is an animal, obviously. What is your favorite animal of all time? It doesn't have to be a bear. And why? Why is that animal your fave that could ever be?
My favorite animal? Well, gosh, it's so easy to say bear.
Well, and people answer the questions, and then afterwards they thought of something else. But just off the top of your head, it's like, yeah, I'll probably go with this one.
Okay, horses.
There you go.
They're beautiful.
Yep.
Amazing animals. Plus, I'm watching Yellowstone at the moment. But anyway, yeah, it's been great, horse racing and rodeo and all kinds of stuff. So I'll say that.
Have you ever ridden a horse, and have you ever fallen off a horse?
Never fallen off, but I have ridden several. Yes.
Jeff, we talked about it before. You're the last perfect man, so why would you fall off the horse? and then Brian, your favorite animal of all time, and why would that be?
Yeah, favorite animal, lion. Don't even need to think about it. That is our family, at least internally here to my family. That's our family's animal crest, if you will. Be a leader like a lion. Be a lion. Be a Lee. And take up the honor of what the lion has to be able to do in the wild kingdom. So gentle, but also forceful, and that's what we like about it.
Understood, and describes many a military man and woman. So good calls, guys. Good calls. So on the show, I normally typically interview filmmakers, actors and actresses. Independent film is the thrust, the spotlight. So I got to ask you, we'll start with Brian this time. Brian, your favorite movie of all time, and if you can isolate a name, a favorite scene from that movie. Again, challenging. We're not, I didn't say I wouldn't challenge you, but fun. It's all about fun. Favorite movie, favorite scene, if you can do so from a movie in your life, Brian.
Well, okay. I love movies. Love movies.
Yeah, I understand.
It's hard for me to truly say there's a bad movie. A movie is successful in one way or another, even if its success is its failure and how successfully it failed, right? I hate to say this, but I'm going to go with 2. But probably my favorite movie, I'm going to go with the one that I loved as a kid, which is obviously Top Gun. One of my favorite scenes from that I could probably recite still to this. I know I can't recite to this day. They're in the office, they're getting chewed out. You screw up just this much. Probably. But I do want to say this. When I was 16 years old,
yes,
the movie Fast and the Furious was coming out. Either it was out or it came out, I can't remember.
Oh,
and
of
course,
Jeff,
at the time,
man. Yeah.
I thought it was the greatest movie of all time. I remember telling my uncle makes fun of me all the time for it. And I have to remind him, there are 9 Fast and the Furious movies, one of the most successful franchises. So was it really a bad movie?
You were on to something, Brian. That's it. Hollywood doesn't make that many movies unless they're making money and successful. So you were the guy that said, hey, there's something going on with this. I bet you'll see more. All right. Very, very cool on both those. Excellent. Jeff, favorite movie, favorite scene in the movie, if you can nail it.
Well, this is going to go back to our favorite stomping grounds, Castelli Communication Center, where I saw Citizen Kane for the first time, which I said
I know I wasn't with you when you did this. Okay, yeah.
the American Film Institute, either they agree with me or I agree with them, whatever.
Yeah.
I just, it's just a master work. And so it's, there's two scenes. One is it's right at the beginning where he's, as a young boy, and is out there with his mother, and he said, well, he's packed, and she kind of walks up in the way that Greg Tolan shot it. It's like, he's already packed. I've had him packed for a week. And and it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the other one is when they're interviewing Joseph Cotton's character, and they're talking about Charlie. Charlie, this is like, oh yeah, he's down in that, what is it, El Dorado, Shangri-La, Sloppy Joe's. Oh yeah. That's just, I love that. Of all the great lines, that I love that line. So
One of a kind, man. The line in the movie. All right. Great job going into character there too. We all yeah, that added to the coolness of the whole deal there. All right, final question, guys, and we'll start with Jeff on this one. I like to ask this of most people I talk to. Best advice you've ever received in your life that you still take to heart today. It matters to you. And who'd you get it from? Jeff, we'll start with you.
Oddly enough, the one that comes to mind was from a guy that I was a director at a company that I worked at. He said when he walked into a room to shoot something, whatever it was, he said he walked all the way around the room to figure out what was the best shot, the best angle. A lot of times you walk in, it's like, oh well, you just preconceived notion, I got to do this, whatever. He said, no,
you've got it
all the way around the room because you may be missing something.
And you do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, again, I'd say it's worked out pretty well for you, Jeff.
I think so.
It's worked out. I quote my dad all the time because I love and respect him, and he's just a remarkable man. But he would say, that Jeff Lee has a pretty good idea of what he's trying to accomplish. He's doing just fine. That Jeff Lee, just fine. Okay, Brian. Now it doesn't have to come from your dad. Okay, it's not a
It's going to. It's going
the
to.
greatest advice you've ever seen in your life is from your father. But what may that be?
Listen,
and who did it come from?
It's going to, and I'm going to offer two here, of course, because I don't follow the rules. So Dad told me early on, when I was in college under Dr. Alberon out of University of North Texas as a freshman, and they wouldn't let me do TV because I was just a freshman and I didn't understand that. And we went out to go write a television show. Me and my two other buddies who grew up in production. We wrote a show called My Life As, where we followed around a different student every week that was different from the other, but somehow they're connected. It was great.
Very cool.
We couldn't get gear. And Dad said, it's not about the gear, it's about the story you tell. And that is, of course, here I am buying gear. But I want whoever's watching this, if you're a film school student, new to it, remember, you do not need the latest and greatest red. If you have an iPhone, you've got the entire production you need right in front of you. It's about the story, not about the gear. And that was Dad who told me.
I watch films like that now all the time that are professionally done and produced with good plots, good stories, like you said, and the acting is damn good. I see them all the time.
So the other one came from one of the greatest leaders I've ever served under, and I'll leave him off of here for now. But he always told me, if you can't get out front and pull the rope, then you got no business leading everybody behind you. And I took that to heart as a leader myself, and there are times, obviously, in our production world where the leader has to just go and do something different while everybody else is working. But it's important that when you don't have to go do something else, get out there, pull a cable, lift a camera, turn on a light, carry something over to the truck, whatever it is. If you can't pull the front of the rope, you can't lead everybody behind you.
Brian, those are two, I'll bet you took those to heart. Those are two fantastic pieces of advice. And Jeff, yours was as well. Yours applies to your job, but walking around a room and getting the feel for what's going on and for people, that extends beyond your occupation and your job. I think most people understand that. Wow, guys, thanks. This has been a blast. Thanks for doing the show, Conversations with Big Click, and thanks for doing the after show. I hope it was as fun for you guys as it is for me. This was cool, and your answers were, well, of course they were awesome. They're your answers. Yeah, my guest, father-son team, again, powering Liveairshowtv. You need to check them out. Liveairshowtv. Google them, find them, and find out what they're doing, because they do cool stuff. It was really fun.
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram.
That's Jeff Lee and Brian Lee. Thanks again to the Lee family. We talked a little while ago off camera with Jeff's wife, Brian's mom, Ann, and I don't need to tell you guys. She runs the show. She keeps the show going, as any mom and wife does. Yeah, they're the power behind everything that happens. Thanks again to Jeff Lee and Brian Lee. You have been watching the Conversations with the Click Critic show, after show, and we appreciate you being here. So until next time, as always, what do? I encourage you with everything, every fiber of my being, listen all around you. Certainly Conversations with a Click Critic, but all around you in life. Listen, learn, laugh heartily, laugh like you mean it, because you do each and every day. They say it'll cure whatever ails you. And goodbye, everybody.